Welcome to another episode of Bottom of the Stream with Adam and Nick. My name is Adam.
My name is Nick. Welcome back. It's the place to get up to date with all the latest stories of the week and news in the world of streaming and movies.
It is indeed.
How are you, Adam?
I'm great. Sweaty.
Yeah?
How are you?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm not sweating yet. I think I might be by the end of this.
Yeah, it's going to get warm in here tonight,
fine.
I think. It's 30 degrees according to my car.
Oh, nice.
Warm. Hot, in fact. Not even warm.
Love it. Love this.
It's great.
weather.
I love the summer. Can't wait to get out there.
Yeah.
Been up to much? Got any gossip for me? Any
Put
news?
the guinea pigs in the garden,
Oh, nice.
like in a cage.
You got a little room.
In a little room, yeah.
Excellent.
So they're like, oh my god,
Be
this is
outside.
amazing.
Is that how they talk?
Yeah. Like properly, after an hour, like I can see why people get goats
Oh, really?
to keep their grass down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Been eating your grass?
Yeah. Just going nuts on that patch of grass.
So tomorrow you just move them to the next
Yeah.
bit. And then the next bit.
Yeah.
And in like 3 weeks you'll have your lawn cut.
So they sit there in the shade once that part of the garden's in shade in the afternoon. So stick them there and have
Lovely.
a whale of a time. So yeah, that's happening.
Excellent. Good.
We had a sick child
Oh, no.
start of the week. Was that
Oldest,
this
youngest?
week? Oldest.
Oh, okay.
I can't even remember. The weeks are all like. I think that was the start of the week.
You didn't mention it last week.
Yeah, it must
so
have
I'm
been.
gonna say it's this week.
Yeah, it must have been.
All good now?
Yeah, fine. It's
Good.
just one of those things that kids get. You know, when they
Yeah.
just get the bug and like they're absolutely laid low for 24 hours, and then
Absolutely.
all of a sudden you wouldn't know anything had happened. I think that's about the most exciting thing.
Yeah. I've not had a very exciting week either.
Running a prize tent on Saturday.
prize
coming.
tent.
Yeah.
Who wins the tent?
Wow. I know. I think the tent's to house
Oh.
the prizes,
Okay.
and I'm going to be giving them
This
out.
more of your charity work that you don't
No,
like to
well,
talk
yeah,
about?
but it's like it's just not that charity work.
Okay.
It's
different
like this
charity
is the
work.
school fair.
Okay. Cool.
I'm like, yeah, I'll give prizes out.
Nice. Like a tombola?
I think it's all the various things you can win at other stalls, and then you get your tokens that you won,
okay.
and then you exchange your tokens for a prize.
Oh,
at
you've
the
got the
prize
best
tent.
job there. And
Yeah,
that's
so I don't have to handle any cash.
No, you're only going to deal with happy people.
Yeah,
That should be great.
yeah.
You're going to have a good time.
Plus, the first hour will be pretty quiet. I
Yeah, because
reckon.
nobody will have won anything.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's the ideal.
I think it's the best job.
Like, because there was rumours of me helping out on the barbecue, and I was like, I'll do it if I have to. But in hindsight, I'm glad that has not happened because it is already going to be, as mentioned, 30 degrees.
Boiling hot. And you don't want to poison a school full of kids
No, true.
and adults.
Yeah.
Is there a whack-a-rat? I always remember whack-a-rat.
Feels like there should be.
Yeah, at school fates, that always seems like
Yeah.
a thing. That'd be a good job. You just release the rat.
Yeah.
If you don't know what whack-a-rat is,
At
how would you explain a whack-a-rat?
At our other charity thing that we do help out with in this storage shed,
Yeah.
there is an old
Oh, is there?
whacker, whether the attached school has used it, yeah, but it looks like the 80s. So it's just a big board.
Yeah, I imagine 80s,
Drain-
90s.
Drain pipe,
pipe.
stuck to it.
And then
No
you-
sign of the rat.
No,
There's
that
probably
would be
some real rats in there.
probably.
And you drop the soft
Rat.
toy rats
Rat
down the
substitute.
drain pipe.
Yeah.
Rat substitute, and then whack it when it comes out. The
Yeah,
bottom.
you have to hit it when it comes out the other end and time it right. Used to love a whack-a-rat.
Though I thought there was a better version. We're already going off format.
That's what we do.
A better version of Whack-A-Rat on this week's Game Changer when
Okay.
it was Catch the Toast.
Yes, Catch the Toast was great. This week's Game Changer was amazing.
It was
This
so
series
good.
is
I
incredible.
already want to rewatch all the episodes. This
series has been
but
amazing.
I thought this week's was, I think, one of the most accessible. Like, if you were saying to someone, try Game Changer out.
Yeah.
I think this week's
It's a good intro
would be
episode.
yeah.
It felt like classic Game Changer.
Yeah.
didn't it? Get Dropout, everybody. It's great.
This week
Like £6 a month.
This week the game was you get one shot to do something, one go.
Yeah.
And if you do it, you get a point.
Yeah,
If you don't do it,
you can
don't get
pick
it.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you get one shot at it.
Yeah.
It was great. It was really good.
Yeah, it was very good.
Cool.
So good,
How do we start these things? I have a question for you.
nice,
I've picked one for you this week.
good.
I've stolen it. Are you ready?
I am.
You wake up in your house
Seems legit.
to find that every household appliance in your home, toaster, fridge, washing machine,
Yeah.
that sort of thing, has now a distinct yet sassy personality. and expresses its opinions loudly. What's the most annoying conversation you have to have with one of them? And which appliance is your biggest critic?
Right, well, just straight off, we're ruling out the dishwasher because my dishwasher is currently broken.
Right, okay.
So that, I presume in this world, that means it's dead.
Or it could be just like, why the fuck haven't you fixed me yet?
I've been told it's not...
It's not fixable.
Well, no, it is fixable, but it will cost more than a new dishwasher.
You've not had that very long.
For 3 years. It's just out of guarantee. 3 years.
Typical. Of course it is. So, has it been 3 years since your kitchen was done?
Nearly 3.5 now, yeah.
Wow, jeez.
Yeah. So anyway.
Okay, we'll discount that.
So the dishwasher packed up like 2 months after it was out of guarantee.
Of course it did.
Had someone around to look at it, and they were like, right, I know what it is. The part's going to cost over 200 quid.
Oh.
If you got a cheap ass dishwasher, you get a cheap dishwasher for 200 quid.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no point fixing this dishwasher.
No.
He was like, because the guy was like, I'm pretty sure this is what it is, but like, I'm not 100%.
Yeah, so when he fixed it might not even be that anyway.
So we'll just get a new dishwasher. So anyway, so not that.
Okay, so not that.
I reckon my toaster's a bit of a cunt.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
It took me ages to blank out the word cunt last week, and now we've both said it. I had to look at a YouTube tutorial and everything.
Because
it wasn't about a specific person.
Because, like, there's too much. I just reckon it's an arsehole because well, you know when you adjust the dial slightly.
Yes.
So say you've got it on 3.
Yeah.
And you do a slice of bread, and you're like, oh, it's not quite enough. It's not quite toasted enough for my liking. But if you go to 4,
yeah,
it's like bin to the sun.
Yeah.
And I just reckon my toaster would give me a load of jip back. Like, why are you changing my settings? You know what works.
No, it could be. You know that's minutes.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was minutes until recently.
It's not like stages of hell.
Stages of heat. My toaster's really old. I think he'd be a grumpy old man.
And my toaster gets abused as well. Like
mine doesn't get used a lot, so I don't eat a lot of bread. But when it does get used, it's like it doesn't matter what the dial's on; it's coming out under toasted every time.
So what was the question again? So I reckon that we'd have a lot of arguments.
Which would be your most annoying conversation is the first question, and which appliance would be your biggest critic?
Yeah, I reckon a toaster would be quite critical because of the said reasons.
Yeah.
And also you tend to use it. It's one of the things you use first thing in the morning.
Yeah, true.
So I wouldn't be up for the attitude first thing. Whereas I think my oven, obviously I don't use my oven until later in the day, or the air fryer.
Yeah.
So I feel like I might have already been through a load of shit that day.
Yeah.
I'm ready to come back at you. What about your kettle? That's a bit of a bubbly dickhead.
Bubbly dickhead. That's the name of the episode. I think my oven would be my biggest critic.
Right.
Because I don't use it.
You just warm stuff up.
I don't even really use it at all. It's just for things that don't fit in the air fryer. I put everything in the air fryer these days.
So before I came here, I cooked for my kids and they had jacket potato, baked potato. And I'd got my timings a bit wrong and I was kind of still finishing off some work and knew I had to get out of here. So I did the baked potatoes in the microwave for like 10 minutes, something like that. Then, as I put the oven on at the same time I put the potatoes in, and then I put the potatoes to crisp in the oven, I reckon the oven would be like, you're not even asking me to do the whole job.
Cooking here. What are you doing? The cooking's done.
I'm babysitting some...
I'm not a crisper.
I'm babysitting some potatoes that are already cooked.
Yeah.
So I reckon that
could be quite critical.
What's the first appliance you use in the day? For me, it'd be the kettle. If I'm at home, the kettle's straight on when I get up.
Is an electric toothbrush an appliance?
Yes, but I'd use that after breakfast.
That would be a big critic of mine. What are these? I think that's the only appliance I use before I go to work.
Whiny little fuzzy bitch.
I don't use appliances before work. I literally get out of bed, go straight to work.
Yeah, if I'm working, if I'm in the office, then I won't use anything. Well, I might open the fridge.
Open the fridge.
That's it.
The fridge would be really critical. The fridge would be like, what the fuck is that?
Our fridge is
Put some healthy stuff in here.
Our fridge is only either full or empty.
Yeah, there's no in between.
There's never it's never a maintained at a level. Yeah. It's like we've just done the shop. It's full. Actually, we can't fit everything in, and then it's just there's been nothing in it all week.
Yeah. My fridge is definitely going to be my British.
I always think it's a
Christmas.
really grown-up thing to maintain a steady
fridge. Yeah, it is.
I've never achieved that in my life.
My
yet.
fridge would be like, there's never anything healthy in here. What the fuck are you doing? Why am I so big when you live here on your own? That would be a big thing for my fridge.
You've got like an
I've got like an American style fridge.
Uber fridge.
So it's even if it's full, it's empty.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be like, why? But I ask myself that question quite regularly. Why is this massive thing in my kitchen when I could get away with a tiny little built-in fridge? I think my fridge would be my biggest critic. I think that's a good one. I don't know what annoying conversations I'd have.
What do you reckon? What appliance do you reckon would be? What's the opposite? That would be good.
Nice appliance.
Yeah, that like you'd have a laugh with, and I've got one. I've got an idea for
Go
that.
on.
I reckon it would be my pressure washer.
Oh, you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy's just going to be fun. He's like, right, I'm out.
Yeah.
Use any ends you want on my shaft. Let's just.
I feel like you'd have a good laugh with it. Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like pressure washers are a good crack.
Yeah.
That's a good shout.
Go to town on this patio or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. I don't know who would be my friendliest appliance.
Ring light.
Don't talk to me about ring lights. There's going to be a week soon where we're not able to video this podcast because the lights don't work.
That might be halfway
through.
through.
They're like hanging on.
Might be halfway through an episode.
Yeah, it might, but they could go off at any moment. They're like hanging on. So yeah, if Nick's suddenly dark, then you know why. Right, I think that's that. I think that's a good question. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Do we have too many
covered it.
appliances?
Yeah, probably.
In general?
Yeah, I think so. Probably.
What have you got an appliance you just never use? You know, it used to be like the old toasty maker.
Yeah,
I haven't got one.
I haven't
had
got a
one for
toasty
years.
maker.
But it's the old joke from Spaced, isn't it? You get your toasty maker, you make nothing but toasters for 2 weeks, and then it goes to the back of the cupboard forever.
I had a deep fat fryer until recently, which I'd never used.
Yeah,
I chucked that
that's
away.
old school.
Yeah, nobody uses them anymore. I don't think so. Like I say, the toaster doesn't get used often because I don't really have bread.
Yeah, got a slow cooker that
I've got a slow
rarely
cooker.
gets
I don't think I've
used.
ever used it.
It's been used a
That's
few
a
times.
good shout. I've got a slow cooker. I've also got a food processor that I don't use.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are cobwebbed appliances in this house, for sure. For sure.
Okay.
Right, let's get on with this show. That's what people are here for.
Sure. Let's start with the news from Netflix.
Let's do this.
And we talked last week about Netflix striking a big deal in Spain. Didn't we? Do you remember?
We
Good.
did. Yes.
Well, this week we are going to lead off with Netflix striking a big deal in France.
Oh, okay.
But this is really unique and something very different. And it would be really interesting to see if this is the first of this kind of deal.
Right.
Because Netflix has a new partnership with TF1, I don't know if it's the premier French network. I don't know if it's like the what
broadcast TV.
Yeah, what it is equivalent with in BBC, ITV, I don't know. But from next summer, so summer 2026, all of TF1's commercial stations and on-demand content will be accessible via Netflix.
Interesting.
So this isn't like where Netflix has a deal like we've seen recently in this country, a load of Sky on-demand stuff. This is like you will be able to watch 5 TF stations live on Netflix, as well as their on-demand content. They have struck this deal.
That is interesting. That feels like they're going after a different industry there.
Well, I think that's also a traditional broadcaster.
Yeah.
I don't want to say struggling, but how do we improve our ratings a bit? We'll sell our stuff. Not sell ourselves, but sell our rights.
Yeah. So will they still be
Netflix.
available on broadcast TV as well, but also on Netflix?
Correct.
Interesting. That's really interesting.
Yeah. But lock, stock,
everything, the whole back catalogue.
All those 5 channels.
So it's like they've just bought like ITV and put ITVX on there and then all the live channels. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd ever see that day come.
Yeah.
That could be a game changer.
It's really interesting, isn't it? And obviously it's going to be a bit of a test case, but Yeah, Netflix have billed it as a new kind of partnership. TF1's commercial stations and on-demand content will be available on Netflix from next summer. No Deadline reports no financial details have been disclosed.
Okay.
Deadline continues to say this is the equivalent of NBC or another major American commercial network handing its output over to Netflix.
Interesting. They're taking over the world, man.
Because that's not going to be a small amount of...
No. There's a lot of content.
Of money.
And a lot of money. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Probably cheap, probably better for them than making their own streaming service and doing it that way, though.
Okay. Next on Netflix is actor Holt McCallany has been talking to, various outlets because he is in a new show starting on Netflix shortly, which has completely gone out of my head. The new Kevin Williamson one that's kind of like Dawson's Creek, but not like Dawson's Creek. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I know the one you mean.
It doesn't matter.
We've
It's not relevant to the story.
Okay.
But he's been talking to various outlets, and one of those being CBR. He spoke to them this week, and he said that he had also had a conversation recently with David Fincher about the potential return of Manhunter, because he starred in that a few years ago, between 2017 and 2020 that ran. And Fincher has said that he's got some ideas. And if Netflix are interested, and they do have an exclusive deal with Fincher, so it's not outside the realms of possibility, Fincher is looking at potentially finishing Mindhunter off with a trio of movies.
Okay. A trio. Oh, a trilogy, as they are otherwise known. The Waterfront is the TV show you were looking for.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I never really got into Mindhunter. I think I watched the first series.
I think I watched
the
first series as well.
I don't think I ever went back after that.
Yeah. Also announced this week by Netflix is we long knew that they had lined up Kathryn Bigelow's next feature.
Yes, I think I remember us talking about that.
To emanate from Netflix. We now have a title and a release date of this thing. It is a political thriller. And it is called The House of Dynamite.
Oh, good name.
It will be in select theatres in October and then debut on Netflix on October the 24th.
Okay.
Starring Idris Elba.
Nice.
And Rebecca Ferguson.
Oh, good cast.
A House of Dynamite centres on a single missile being launched at the United States and the process of determining who was responsible and how to react.
Who shot us?
Jared Harris also in the cast.
Okay.
Obviously, Kathryn Bigelow, Detroit.
Yeah.
It was her last movie.
Well, that was her last movie?
Yeah, 2017.
Wow.
Zero Dark 30. The Hurt Locker. She won Best Picture, Best Director. 2009.
Is she the first female director to win Best Director? I think that's right.
I don't know. So yeah, that is coming to Netflix in October.
Awesome.
Awards.
Sounds awardsy. Sounds awardsy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Political.
How would you feel if Netflix were to reboot Lost?
Don't tease me, Nick. Don't tease me. I wouldn't like it. Lost doesn't need a reboot.
Land of the Lost.
Land of the Lost. Okay, what's that? Because like the old, really old show.
Yeah, that was like the sort of Land of the Giants type thing, and then it had a reboot with a Will Ferrell movie. I want to say about 2009, 10.
Ish.
It's happening. Netflix has closed a deal with Legendary Television to reboot The Land of the Lost. 1974 sci-fi adventure show.
Yeah.
1974.
1974. Cool.
Yeah, that's when it originated.
Older than us.
Land of the Lost centres on a father, Rick, and his two children who accidentally go through a portal and find themselves trapped in a world inhabited by dinosaurs, including a Tyrannosaurus Rex they nicknamed Grumpy, primate-like people named Pakuni, one of whom they befriend, and reptilian humanoids called The Sleestack.
Ooh.
Originally ran as a children's series, which between 1974 and 1976. Returned in the 80s. Had a further remake in 1991 and a 2009 feature film starring Will Ferrell.
Cool.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I'm aware of it.
Have I seen that movie? I want to say I may have seen the Will Ferrell movie, but I have no memory of it. If I feel like I would have seen it at some point.
I get that.
But I do not recall anything about it whatsoever. That's like Land of the Giants, Land of the Lost. They were sort of over here, sort of Sunday morning. Stuff.
Kids TV.
Yeah. Sure, Netflix can throw some CGI on that.
Yeah, I'm sure they can.
This is something I found quite interesting. Another adaptation that Netflix are working on. They are in talks with James Bobin, who was the director behind the first two Muppet reboots.
Okay.
With Jason Segel.
Yep.
And he was the director on a lot of the Flight of the Conchords shows.
Okay.
He has signed, or he's in talks to direct an adaptation for Netflix of a video game, Dragon's Lair.
Oh, okay.
A 1980s video game,
Yeah,
which having seen the shots from this, I was like, yeah, I have seen this before. It's like an animated 80s video game.
Yeah, I do vaguely remember it.
Ryan Reynolds is in talks to star in this thing,
okay.
apparently.
Wow.
Which is interesting. This has been worked on, not necessarily by Netflix, for 5 or 6 years. All the animation for the video game was done by the Don Bluth company, they were the company behind like American Tail, All Dogs Go to Heaven, those sort of 80s movies. And at the time, this game came out on Laserdisc.
Laserdisc?
Yeah.
Wow.
What about that as a
that
format? Apparently, it also made an appearance in the background of Stranger Things at one point.
Yeah, not surprised.
The game's plot centres on a knight named Dirk the Daring, who must rescue the fetching Princess Daphne from the clutches of the evil dragon known as Singe.
That's a great name for a dragon.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Feels Netflixy.
It does.
Okay. Next story is what is next for the guys behind Cobra Kai.
Oh.
And they are going back to one of their earlier properties because John Hurwitz, Hayden Schlossberg, and Josh Held, the creators behind Cobra Kai, have closed a deal to write and direct a new installment of Harold and Kumar.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's how they started their career.
Yeah.
They wrote the first one, Harold and Kumar. The 2004 one, Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, and directed Harold and Kumar Escape Guantanamo Bay in 2008.
Of course they did.
Both John Cho and Cal Penn are expected to return.
They both did really well out of that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Considering where they started.
Yeah.
This is an American Pie spin-off, isn't it? Weren't those two guys like originally characters in American Pie?
Were they in the background?
Yeah, I think so.
American Pie.
I think it's set in the same universe.
Unknown if Neil Patrick Harris will return.
Let's hope not.
It will be produced by Greg Shapiro, who, in a nice full circle moment, won an Oscar for his production on The Hurt Locker. So there you go.
And now he's doing Harold and Kumar movies.
That's an interesting next step after Cobra Kai.
Yeah, it is. I expected them to return to the well of our 80s.
They did the show
go from there
a couple of Christmases ago. What, the Bomb Squad in Vegas?
Oh yeah,
I loved it, but it was very un-PC and
what's that called?
Oh my god, I can't remember any names.
It was really good.
Yeah.
No, that's not coming.
No, that's not coming back. But that got cancelled, didn't it? After one series. Yeah. Oh well, fair play to them. You do what you want after 10 years of Cobra Kai.
I can't get Destruction Las Vegas out of my head, but it's not that. That's the Frankie Muniz film.
It's a one-word title.
Yeah, it is.
I can't remember. We do know, however, what is next up for Jeremy Saulnier.
Okay, yeah.
Obviously, his last project was highly successful on Netflix, Rebel Ridge. But he is not working with Netflix for his next project. Indeed, he signed up to direct a movie for A24.
Okay.
A movie called October.
October.
Yes.
Good name.
And it will star Corey Michael Smith.
Corey Michael Smith.
Yes.
Nice.
Deadline says there are no intricate plot details, but their sources have described the project as a fugitive-type thriller set during Halloween.
Okay.
Jeremy Saulnier will direct it from his own script, and it will be produced and financed by A24, as well as our old friend Mason Blair.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Captain's Gallery member. Obliterated is the show you were thinking
That's
of.
the one. I never would have. I don't think I would have got
I
that.
wouldn't either.
Don't think I would have got that. Corey Michael Smith is currently starring in Mountainhead, which is the new Steve Carell, Jason Schwartzman movie, which I think is on Amazon Prime.
Okay. Steve Carell tends to do a lot of things on Amazon Prime, so it might be.
He also played Chevy Chase in last year's Saturday Night Live movie.
Great movie.
Okay.
Sweet.
So, I mean, so far I've never been let down by a Saulnier movie. So
No, not me.
I'll be checking that one
We've
out.
done a couple on here, haven't we?
Hopefully, will not take as long as Rebel Ridge took to
That did take a long
come
time.
to fruition. So there we go. Busy Man Who Is Busy is getting more busy.
Okay.
Our favourite Glenn Powell
Oh, wow.
had signed up to star in Ron Howard's next movie.
All right.
For Amazon MGM. And in what feels like a bit of a retro 90s style movie to me, he will star in a firefighter movie.
Oh.
About a firefighting squadron who fight a series of deadly Texas fires.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I like a firefighter movie.
Glenn Powell, definitely shirtless and sweaty at some point.
Yeah, 100%. Dressed as a fireman.
Bit smoky, bit covered in soot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it writes itself, doesn't it?
Does.
The story, so the Hollywood Reporter says, focuses on two disparate childhood friends who are now accomplished firefighters and face a deadly series of Texas blazes whilst navigating their relationship.
Okay. Sounds fun.
Would you like a list of what Glenn Powell is currently or shortly working on?
Yes, please.
So, next out for him, which I presume is all complete on from his point of view until it gets to press, is the Edgar Wright remake of The Running Man.
Okay.
He's currently filming A24 thriller Huntington. He's then got J.J. Abrams' secret movie, as in we don't know what the plot is.
Yeah.
He's got
hopefully a Cloverfield movie.
He's got the upcoming Hulu series Chad Powers.
Chad Powers.
I think he's where he plays like a fake American football quarterback. Yeah. And he has also signed up for a Universal sci-fi movie, The Natural Order, and a Judd Apatow comedy about a country music star. So he's got to fit all of that around this fire movie.
Is there more than one Glenn Powell?
I think there might be, yeah.
I think there has to be.
Yeah, at this point.
Crazy.
Okay, couple more. So we had a Christmas news story last week.
Yeah. It's the season for Christmas news.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's the hottest day of the year.
Yeah. And news this week that we are getting a sequel to Violent Night.
Oh, amazing.
Violent Night 2 will release Christmas 2026.
Okay.
David Harbour returns as the Man in Red, as does director Tommy Verkala.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. Christmas Carol we were talking about last week, weren't we?
Yes, we
Robert
were.
Eggers movie. Yeah, Violet Night 2.
Awesome. I really enjoyed it. I've seen Violet Night twice.
Have you?
Yeah, I watched it both the last 2 Christmases.
Yeah. I think I
really
watched it for the first time last Christmas. I really enjoyed it.
Really good film. I really enjoyed it. David Harbour's just infinitely watchable, though, isn't he?
He's got
There's something about
something.
him.
Yeah. Because he doesn't scream movie star.
No, he doesn't.
But he is.
But he is. And he's good at it.
In news, I think this is the last news story of the week that is well overdue.
Okay.
And I'm not quite sure how we throw our name in the hat for this.
Oh, right.
But it has been announced that starting with the next Golden Globes ceremony,
Okay.
a new category will be included.
Right.
Best podcast.
At the Golden Globes?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. I'll have to get my tux ready.
January the 11th is the next edition of the Golden Globes. And yes, submissions. I don't know how we submit.
Well, find out.
I will do my best to find out. Submissions for the Best Podcast Award open on Wednesday, October the 1st.
Okay.
And must be submitted by the 31st of October.
So basically, you've got to do it in October.
To submit.
That would be so funny. Even just to submit it.
Yeah. Ballots are then sent out in November, etc., etc. So, what I can tell you...
Can we at least get on the ballot? That would be amazing.
What I can tell you is that to be eligible...
Oh, okay. There we go.
Podcasts must have at least 6 episodes...
Oh, yeah, we've nailed it. 1.
released during the period 1st of January 2025 and September the 30th, 2025.
Done.
With each episode having a minimum length of 30 minutes.
Done. We're quids in here.
I don't know how we are making them eligible, but the top 25 eligible podcasts will qualify.
That's all it needs, just those 2 things.
Yeah. And a total of 6 podcasts will make it into the category on the night. I guess 25 on the ballot, 6 into the category.
I thought you were going to say have to have like 1 million listeners per episode or something, but you just have to have made 6 episodes.
You've got to, so in October, yeah, you've got to put yours in for consideration. Oh, well, let's
do it.
I'll find out more info.
Just
but yeah,
for the shits and gigs, we should do that.
Our journey to the Golden Globes starts here.
Imagine that'd be amazing.
So this is the best podcast where one of the presenters calls his toaster a cunt. It's award-winning stuff.
That's 3 times that's been said. I'm not blanking them out. It took me about 20 minutes to blank out last week. Nick Toaster's not going to sue us. You should not have told
me that. I think I've said that as many times as I've said it in the whole
I think you're right.
previous existence of this show.
Nick Toaster's not going to sue us. The cunt that we talked about last week might have.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I blanked it.
I have finished the news.
Well done. Thank you for doing it. It was wonderful. Have you watched anything good at the top of the stream?
I've watched a few things, but I'm sort of carrying on things we've talked about before. So I've restarted after a bit of a gap because I've restarted my Black Mirror watch. My first time. So I've now done, in the last week I watched season 5, which is, it sounds impressive, there's only 3 episodes.
Yes.
Really middle of the road.
Is that
3
the
episodes.
series with the Alexa style doll?
Yes, the Miley Cyrus one.
Yes. I hate
That's the one I most recently watched.
I really didn't like that episode. I remember when it was on, I was like, I really don't like it.
It's 3 episodes. It's the series where... So the first one was the Anthony Mackie and... God damn it.
Are you okay today?
No, I'm not good at names anyway. Yaya.
Torre.
No. Abdul Mateen. Yeah, him. Who's been on the show before. So they're best friends, but they reconnect about overplaying like Street Fighter 2 rip-off. And it all goes a bit...
I remember this
lovey-dovey. So it's that one. And then it's Andrew Scott taking a intern hostage because he wants to talk to Topher Grace, who's the head of some Facebook amalgamation type thing.
I remember.
That was the best one.
Yeah. Wasn't keen on the other 2.
But it was middle of the road.
Even that one was middle Season 5 is not a good series, is it? I remember that. Doesn't seem that long ago. I'm sure it was, but it didn't seem like it.
Well, so that's done. So I've only got 2 seasons left. So about 11 episodes.
Include the newest season. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah,
mine has paused as well just because of other stuff.
it's also like because I went hard for the first couple of seasons, and then I was like,
Did you?
Yeah, whilst watching it, but it's like it's not meant for binge watching.
No, it's not.
Because it is pretty heavy.
They're good to just put on when you've got a spare hour. You
Yeah.
can just put a Black Mirror on.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to watch them back to back to back
Yeah.
to back.
So hence my little break. But that.
Yeah, I'm having a little break in a minute as well because I'm still working through Department Q.
Oh yeah, how was this? We nearly
Good.
started this the other day.
Yeah, it's really
ran
good.
out of time.
It did start to lose me a little bit in the middle. I don't know where I'm at with it. I think I've got 2 left maybe.
Okay.
It's quite slow paced, but I think I knew that going in. So
Yeah.
I think if I hadn't have known that, it might have lost me, but I knew what I was letting myself in for.
I'm interested to watch it, but I don't know how close it is to the top of my list because my thoughts have been from seeing the trailer. I thought, oh, this looks good trailer. But then the other side of me thought, is it a Glaswegian version of Black Doves, which I watched not that long ago, which was good, admittedly.
Yeah, no, it is good. It is good, and the story's quite good. And I'm intrigued to see where it's going.
Yeah.
So I will get to the end of it. It is good. I'm still working through Big Mouth.
Oh yeah,
I think I've only got like 2 or 3 of those left as well now. That's been a really good season of that. I think this is a nice way to sign it off.
cool.
I feel like I've started something else, but don't think I have. Game Changer, obviously. Taskmaster.
Yes.
This season of Taskmaster's amazing.
Yeah.
Really good. And then I watched a film at the weekend.
Okay.
I watched Tyler Perry's Straw, which is a Netflix movie that's doing quite well. It's just come out. I'm going to... How do you pronounce the lady's name? Is it? I want to say Tajiri, but it's not. It's...
I don't know who.
You
who
do
we're
know
talking
who I
about.
mean. What's her name? Hold on.
That's fine.
Taraji P. Henson?
Oh right, okay.
I want to call her
I know who you
Tajiri,
mean.
but
I do
she's
know
not
who you
that.
mean.
So it's her. Have you seen any of this movie? Do you know what this
No,
movie is?
I know it's a
Okay.
Tyler Perry movie. That's
It's a
all.
Tyler
I
Perry
know.
movie. It's just come out. It's called Straw. It is about a single mother in a black neighborhood who is having the worst day of her life.
Yeah.
So she is late for work. A kid's just had a seizure the night before.
Okay.
She eventually loses her job. She eventually loses her flat. All this is all happening on the same day. She loses her house and her job. And then she goes back into the job to talk it out with the manager. And while she works in a supermarket, while she's in there, somebody breaks in and holds the manager at gunpoint. So she's in the office with him. He's there. It all kicks off. It goes quite bad. She eventually ends up wrestling this robber and shooting this guy dead.
Okay.
She's then left with the gun. The manager thinks that she's involved because why would she come back? So she shoots him just on impact. And then she accidentally robs a bank.
Oh, nice.
And it is just, it sounds ridiculous. It is ridiculous, but it's also so emotional because she plays it so well. And it's like, you really feel for her because she for the first 20 minutes of robbing this bank, she doesn't even know she's robbing a bank.
Yeah.
She's completely accidental. The FBI get involved, the cops get involved, and it's awesome.
Nice.
I tell you, I don't say that about Netflix movies very often, but give them their credit for this one. I thought it was brilliant.
Oh,
I really enjoyed it. It's right up there with some of the best Netflix movie I've seen. I thought I really enjoyed it. I went 4.5 stars.
Ooh.
Quite high for me, especially for Netflix.
Okay.
6.5 on IMDb at the minute. So
Good.
it's riding high. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Sinbad's in it.
Is he?
It was his first movie for like 20 years because he
Wow.
had a stroke and he's in a wheelchair.
Wow.
So he's in it. He plays like the tramp who lives.
Yeah.
She always helps out this tramp even though she's got nothing herself.
Nice.
He plays that character. So yeah, I loved it. I thought it was really good.
Cool.
It was recommended to me by Dan at work.
Yeah. I
And
wasn't expecting you to go so
I loved
high
it.
on
I thought it was great. Honestly, I would recommend it to anybody. So yeah,
Good.
go out and watch Straw. It's really good. It's riding high in the Netflix
It
chart,
is, yeah.
and it's actually a really good film. So
Good.
go and check it out. I think that's it. I think that's all I've been watching though. Yeah, I don't think I've watched anything else. I think that is everything I've been watching. I do feel like there's something else.
It might come back to you.
I've been playing Switch games
nice.
quite a lot.
Yeah?
Quite enjoying having that. Little.
Anything else than Mario Kart, or is that still the most?
No, I've been playing Mario Wonder, which
Okay.
is quite good. And there's a Rayman game that's really
nice.
good. I've been playing that.
Cool.
That's quite good.
And how are you finding using the...
I'd like the portability of just
Yeah.
being able to lie in my bed and play it, or lie on the
Nice.
settee and play it. I've been
Are
playing
you
it
finding...
handheld quite a lot.
I was going to just ask that. Are you finding you're playing it more handheld or on the TV?
Much
or...
more handheld than on the TV.
Okay.
I have played it on the docked a few times, but yeah, I'm playing it handheld more.
Nice.
There's a new Donkey Kong game
Yes, I've heard that.
that is coming out in July. Do you want some Donkey Kong facts?
Yeah.
So people are moaning that this new Donkey Kong game messes up the timeline of Donkey Kong.
Oh, God.
I know.
I didn't know there was Donkey Kong lore.
There's Donkey Kong lore.
Yeah.
So this new Donkey Kong game is coming out next month.
Okay.
It's Donkey Kong teamed up with Pauline,
Right.
who is one of the Mario World princesses.
Okay.
Do you remember the original Donkey Kong game back in the 80s?
Yeah.
Where he's standing on a platform throwing barrels at Mario
Yeah.
that's not Mario. It's Jumpman or whatever.
Yeah.
So that Donkey Kong and this Donkey Kong are not the same person.
Right.
That Donkey Kong is this Donkey Kong's granddad.
Okay.
However, that princess is Pauline.
Okay.
So the timeline's messed up because that Donkey Kong's now the older Donkey Kong in this game.
Yeah.
But Pauline's the same age.
But how long do Kongs live?
Who knows?
So,
But
can
the original
we not
Donkey Kong
retcon it that
is
way?
in the new Donkey Kong game,
Yeah.
but as a really old man with a long beard.
Yeah.
Cranky Kong, I think they call it. So the timeline's all messed up and people are not happy about it.
not if Kong's age.
So Kong's
quicker
age, it
than
appears that Kong's age, but Mario
princesses
humans
do not.
and Mario's and Luigi's,
Yeah.
they do not.
Yeah.
But Kong's do.
Mm.
That's what it would appear.
Wow.
Which I thought was quite. I
I've
saw
learned
it.
something today.
I watched an Instagram video last night and I was like, that's actually is quite interesting. So yeah, I've been playing that. I'm looking forward to that game coming out.
So is Diddy Kong grown up?
Diddy Kong's not in the new game
Right.
and not in the new Mario Kart
Oh.
randomly.
Okay.
So he's like falling out with Nintendo, I
Right.
think. So I don't know what's going on
Okay.
there. Right, what are we doing now? I've got a game for us
Nice.
to play, which is unusual, but I've made a game myself.
Oh, I'm excited.
However, it relies on us knowing what movie we're watching on Thursday. So
Okay.
shall we talk about what movie we're watching on Thursday?
Sure. So come back to our podcast feed on Thursday. We are going to watch a movie. How should we say? So it's from an old favourite studio.
Yes, it's from the Asylum.
From the Asylum.
It's a sci-fi original from 2017, I think. It's quite a later Asylum movie.
Yeah, it is a bit later. And it's called
Empire of the Sharks.
Empire of the Sharks.
Yes, it's
Which is for one, it's a title I have questions about, but I have quite a few questions about this movie.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of questions.
I'm really excited to talk about it.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about it. It's going to be really good fun.
Yeah.
So come back to find our podcast wherever you find podcasts on Thursday.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you about Empire of the Sharks.
What I will say,
Yeah.
as I obviously don't know what conversation we're going to have towards the end of that episode when we're going to start to try and put it in the stream table. But with how this season's stream table is,
Yeah.
it's all I'll say is it's very wide open.
Oh, 100%. I was talking to our Patreon today.
It's wide open for any film that we've got left this
100%.
season
Yeah, it is.
to come and...
This is a really wide open season. Anything could go anywhere.
Yeah.
I was talking to Alex, one of our Patreons today. Goodnight Mummy has gone top of his stream table. He thinks it's the best film we've seen this season. And he said it's not even close. Nick doesn't know what he's talking about. So
I thought it was a fine, completely standard horror film.
But- yeah, 100% it is a completely standard horror. But it's interesting that we can be that far apart
Yeah.
on movies.
Yeah.
But that's this stream table's fault.
Yeah.
Because this hasn't been a strong... It's been a while since we found a hidden gem.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. So, as Nick said, Empire of the Sharks is an Asylum movie. So I have made a game, and I think you've done it before, where I've taken some Asylum movies,
Okay.
and I've also made up some Asylum-style movies.
Oh, nice.
And you have to guess which Asylum movie is real and which Asylum movie is fake.
Perfect.
I have 10. So I've got name of movie,
Yeah.
year of movie,
Yeah.
and synopsis of movie.
Lovely.
For all 10, but some of them are made up. So would you like to start? I'm not giving it the Asylum or not Asylum. I'm not as creative as you. I think you've done it before. I think when we've done an Asylum movie before, you've done something similar.
Possibly.
But I've stolen it.
I'm
from
not
you.
listening back to check.
No, not me. But so yeah, I've got 10. Are you ready?
I am, yeah.
The first one is a movie called San Andreas Quake. Came out in 2015. Do you want the synopsis?
Yes, please.
When a disgraced seismologist predicts that California is on the brink of a massive state-splitting earthquake, she races against time to warn her family and the authorities, only to be dismissed. As chaos erupts and the ground tears apart, she must navigate the destruction to save her daughter and convince others of the oncoming cataclysm.
So I'm just going to go on total vibes here because, as I suspect will be the case for most of the movies on this list, the whole point of the Asylum is that. So around that time, the Rock movie came out, San Andreas.
Yeah.
it's perfectly feasible there would be an asylum version of that.
Yeah.
It is also perfectly feasible that you've just took the synopsis from that movie, added the word Quake to it, and because that's essentially what the asylum does.
Yeah, that is exactly what the asylum does.
I commend you either way. I am going to, like I say, I'm going on vibes. I'm going to say that is true. Asylum
is true. San Andreas Quake is a real movie from 2015.
Nice.
Good start. Do you want the second one?
Yes.
The name of the second movie is The Fast and the Furious Urban Drift.
Okay.
Came out in 2023.
Okay.
A really late asylum movie. The synopsis says, this is the asylum's first animated movie, set in a world where anthropomorphic animals have taken over illegal street racing. A disgraced cheetah racer must team up with a street-smart badger mechanic and a tech-savvy squirrel hacker. Their mission, to win the ultimate underground race, the Grand Prix de Paws, and expose a ruthless crime syndicate that's rigging the races with performance-enhancing animal modifications.
Would they have done an animated movie?
Who knows? You wouldn't put it past them.
No. I'm suddenly regretting not us being on top of my more recent asylum movies. I'm going on vibes, like I said. I'm going to say false.
That is false. Well done. 1-1. No, 2-0.
Yeah.
Number 3. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Dino Shark versus Mecha Shark.
Okay.
Time Crash.
Okay.
Yeah, 2024. Last year. Synopsis. A rogue time travel experiment accidentally pulls a primordial dino shark from the Cretaceous period into present-day Miami, just as the military unveils its all-new anti-aquatic threat weapon, the Mecha Shark. When both apex predators are somehow fused with advanced temporal technology, they clash across different timelines, battling not just for supremacy, but for the very fabric of reality itself.
I don't even care if it's false, but I want it to be true, so I'm going to say true. It sounds amazing.
False, unfortunately.
God damn.
I believe
Make that movie.
I believe Dino Shark and Mecha Shark are both a real thing, but they've never crossed.
This is what I was thinking. Okay.
Number 4. Triassic Attack.
Nice.
2010.
Okay.
When a Native American shaman resurrects 3 dinosaurs from petrified fossils, the prehistoric beasts go on a rampage. A small-town sheriff and a paleontology student must find a way to stop the ancient creatures before they destroy everything in their path.
True.
True. That is true. Well done.
I kind of feel like might have seen a thumbnail for that.
Okay. I did have to be careful because we've watched quite a lot of Asylum. So the older ones I had to be really careful
deep
with.
Cuts.
I was like, there's some we would have seen.
Or more recent, yeah.
Right. If you wanted that one to be true, or the one before to be true, get ready for this one. Okay. Number 5. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter, The Robot Uprising.
Okay. Fantastic.
Again, not yet released yet, but coming this year. Due to release later this year and set years after defeating the vampire threat, a wizened Abraham Lincoln is brought back from the grave for a second time by a secret government agency using experimental cybernetic technology. His mission, to combat a new, even deadlier enemy, a global uprising of sentient, steam-powered robots, secretly funded by rogue elements of the Confederate High Command, threatening to mechanize mankind.
Right, I'm going to say false, but I really want it to be true.
Again, it is false. Well done. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter is obviously a real movie.
I felt there was just slightly too much detail in there for an asylum synopsis.
Yeah. Number 6.
Yeah.
Sharktopus versus Piranaconda.
Okay.
Martian Menace.
Nice.
Again, from last year. After a disastrous mission to Mars brings back mutated samples, a Sharktopus and a Piranaconda are accidentally created on Earth, quickly becoming top-tier oceanic threats. But when a Martian atmospheric probe crashes into the ocean, it unleashes an alien parasite that rapidly evolves both creatures into hyper-aggressive, spacefaring monsters, forcing them to turn their combined might against humanity and beyond.
Oh, it's a toss of a coin. I'm going to say false.
Again, false. Well done. You're doing well here. What's that?
5.
Lost track. 5-2.
5-1.
5-1. Yeah, this is number 7. Number 7. You ready?
Yeah.
Atlantic Rim. 2013.
Okay.
When giant monsters suddenly emerge from the Atlantic Ocean threatening the eastern seaboard, the American military unleashes 3 state-of-the-art giant robots to defend the nation from the invasion kaiju.
Gonna say true. I feel like they would have done a Pacific Rim knockoff.
Yeah, and you would be correct.
Nice.
That's true. Atlantic Rim is a real movie. Next one.
Yeah.
Mega Python versus Gatoroid 2, Return to the Everglades, from 2016. Synopsis. Decades after their initial destructive encounter, a new genetically enhanced Mega Python and an equally monstrous Gatoroid resurface in the Florida Everglades, now imbued with bioelectric powers. When a disgraced cryptozoologist discovers they developed a telepathic link, she realizes they're not just fighting each other, but have formed an unholy alliance to terraform the swamps into their new monstrous dominion.
It's always a disgrace.
There's always a disgrace
Zoologist
something.
or cryptologist or vibes false.
False again. Well done. 2 more.
Okay.
Number 9. Zombies.
Okay.
It's from 2016.
Right.
A deadly virus breaks out at a safari park, turning all the exotic animals into bloodthirsty zombies. A small group of park employees and visitors must fight for survival against hordes of infected lions, gorillas, giraffes, and more.
Want it to be true. Gonna say false.
That's true.
Is it?
Zombies is a real movie from 2016. Right, last one. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Nazis at the Center of the Earth.
Okay.
From 2012. Synopsis. A team of intrepid explorers discover a hidden subterranean world at the Earth's core, only to find it inhabited by a colony of surviving Nazis who have built an army of genetically engineered human-reptile hybrids and robotic super soldiers.
I'm just going to say true.
It is true. That is 100%
I want to watch both of those
a real
last two.
movie. We very nearly did Zombies on a watch-along not long ago,
Okay.
but I don't think you were there.
Okay.
But apparently it's awful.
I can only imagine.
So yeah, you did all right there.
Yeah.
I was quite
I
proud
think
of that.
8.
8 too.
Yeah.
Well done.
Take that.
Good.
That was great.
It's good fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Also, you should make some of those movies.
I should make some of those movies, which I think the animated Fast and the Furious thing has got to be done.
Has that not been done already?
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I enjoyed making that. That was good fun. I was going to sit down and do the same thing that you did the other week, but I thought that
the overrated and
I
underrated.
thought that might be a bit boring.
We'll do it whenever.
But we can do it whenever. I have got a list of movies. I just thought, I was watching this last night, I was like, I could do a quiz here.
Yeah.
So I did a quiz.
Nice.
Right, I think we're done.
I think so.
We've got to the end of our weekly show again. So yeah, all that remains to be said is like, subscribe, ding the bell, do whatever you can, tell your nan, do all this sort of stuff. Go and watch Empire of the Sharks on Amazon Prime. And it's also free on YouTube if you don't have Amazon Prime. So you can. I think a lot of asylum movies are.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can go and watch it on there. And
it's 83 minutes of your time, something like that.
Yeah, go and watch that. And then we'll be back on Thursday on all the good podcasting apps, some of the bad ones. And we will talk to you about that movie from there.
Cheers.
Bye.